The economics of mutuality is a journey that started 10 years ago, in 2007, actually 1 year before the crisis, based on the question that one of the shareholders of Mars asked us, that what should be the right level of profit for a company like Mars. And this was not an easy question to answer. And it developed over time through a new management theory, which we call economics of mutuality. And essentially, economics of mutuality is based on two principles. The principle of mutuality, which in English could be translated in reciprocity. So it is the idea that no one business can prosper in isolation of the other in the ecosystem in which it operates. So it's important to put the interest of the others ahead of your own interest in order to ensure your own prosperity. So this is at the heart of the way we do business at Mars. And the second thing is based on the principle of economics, and economics is the management of scarcities. And 50 years ago, financial capital was scarce, so collectively we invented financial capitalism to address financial capital scarcity. Today, financial capital is overly abundant, and we have other forms of scarcities that actually need to be addressed through an economic model. So economics of mutuality is based on principle of mutuality, the interest of the others, and also the understanding that value creation goes beyond simply the financial capital maximization. So in short, it is a management innovation which actually is all about tapping into hidden or untapped assets in order to grow the efficiency, increase the efficiency and the performance of business while addressing sustainable issues such as the impact on business, on the society and the environment. Yes, we had a chance actually to develop this thinking in an academic setting. So we have a multi-year partnership with Oxford University. So we are developing the research behind this model, but we are also developing the education behind this model. So it's pretty much an academic endeavor, which is based both on knowledge and research and education, but also we are implementing this model in real real businesses. And we are implementing this model now in different parts of the world, in Asia, in Europe, in Latin America, in the US, but also in Africa. And in Africa, we tested it in Kenya in particular, among the poorest people of the country, which actually is people who live in suburbs, in slums outside Nairobi, and also in rural areas. We are also testing it now as we speak in Côte d'Ivoire among the cocoa farmers. So essentially, it's a demonstration that when a business goes beyond the idea of maximizing profits for the sole benefit of their shareholders, but they are embracing the need of every stakeholders, and they measure the value that is creating, not only financially, but also through social and human capital metrics and natural capital metrics. The overall performance of the business is increased, and not only for the firm, but for everyone in that ecosystem. So in the case of Kenya and Nairobi, for instance, we are developing a business which actually is selling chewing gums and sweets in the streets of Nairobi. But the purpose goes way beyond selling product. It's also about creating jobs, creating good jobs, empowering and healing communities. And to our big surprise, actually, when we launched this business in Kenya several years ago, we thought actually that the business would be break-even at best. But actually, to our surprise, it's a business which is actually not only creating hundreds and thousands of jobs, but also is profitable and actually delivers a very high level of performance, financial performance to business, which allows the business to reinvest into the business, which actually is a sign that you can address social problems, in this case poverty among impoverished communities, not only through a traditional charity or corporate social responsibility action, but through creating real businesses. But the way this model was developed was not only to address issues like poverty or environment. It was the idea that the profit maximization model is just for the benefit of shareholders is limiting. is limiting not only the opportunity of doing business, but also limiting the opportunity of nations to thrive and grow. And what we, very humbly, what we're trying to demonstrate is that the current economic model is not complete and needs to be completed. Actually, one of the book we just wrote is called Completing Capitalism, because capital is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing if it becomes only in the hands of the few. We happen to be always to be the same. So the completing capitalism, understanding that capital goes beyond financial capital, but also embraces people capital and natural capital, is extremely important actually to reform the economic system in which we operate. And I think it is inevitable, because we are at an interesting time now that financial capital is overly abundant. In some places, we have negative interest rates, for instance, but other forms of capital actually are now scarce. So you don't need to be an ideologist to understand that actually the economic model will have to shift from producing financial capital to addressing new form of scarcities in the area of people capital and natural capital. So by doing this, and if there is a sufficient number of companies, government, and education institutions that actually embrace this model, then it's possible to foresee that a whole nation or a whole continent could be reformed. But it will take time, and our view is that it's based on two principles. It's based on the principle of education. People perish because of lack of knowledge, so knowledge education is critically important, and also it's based on practical implementation at scale of this model. So we're starting very modestly, showing that it's possible actually to achieve a higher level of equilibrium, and this will have actually impact not only on businesses but also on policy making. Well, harmony is a state of mind and a state of soul that everybody is seeking. And actually, China used to have this program called the Harmonious Society. And harmony in that context is an equilibrium between different forces. Well, Africa, like every continent, to some extent, it has not found harmony yet. There is the weight of history, also the poverty of Africa and support of Africa is actually a real issue, and no one could achieve harmony on its own. So, and harmony will come from the coalition of players working together. But I think it comes from maybe the understanding that there are some natural laws that actually are good to achieve harmony or to increase harmony, and there are some natural laws which are bad, which actually would bring harmony down. And business is an important part of society. It's not the only one, it's an important part. I mean, everybody is somehow linked to business activity, and business actually can contribute to improve harmony or to decrease harmony. And the purpose of economics of mutuality is actually to show that when businesses are enacting principles which actually are in favor of harmony, it is not at the expense of the performance. Actually, it is the opposite. And this is, I think, this fear that, I think it goes back to this maybe fear of lack or which drives selfishness. But the natural law is that actually there is mutuality, or putting the interest of the other at the head of your own interest, is not only an altruistic motive, it's also probably the quickest way to reach prosperity. And it's the quickest way to poverty of soul is a worship of money. Corruption may not have the same meaning in Africa or in the Western world or in Asia, and corruption is pretty much a cultural thing. So what may look corruption in the West may look just like a normal social practice in other part of the world, or vice versa.